Hence the joints and scotch.
It's in yeah. Alright, I hope this is going to work. I'm just going to... Sick. Alright, let's do it.
Alright, let's go.
Welcome on.
Hey, bro.
Yeah. We just had a quick chat before, but tell us your name. Tell us what you're about.
So, I'm Tommy Khoury, or Thomas Khoury. I go by the name of the powerlifting physio.
Yeah, that's your Instagram handle.
That's the Instagram handle, as everyone's telling me.
Yeah.
There's an underscore at the end of that.
Make sure you go follow him.
Oh, if you want. Physio, exercise physiologist, remedial massage therapist. So operate out of Maryland's, New South Wales. Fantastic Maryland's.
Yeah, I felt like I was going to get stabbed on the way in here. It was pretty hectic. Like the
to fight off some junkies.
Yeah, the Uber driver was like, "Be careful, hold on to your things." So I'm still like holding onto my laptop. It's like, I'm surprised you don't like lock shit down in here, man.
Man, I tried to. I've got like locks everywhere, but I don't know if you can. The door's a bit rattly.
Yeah, I mean.
The fire exit. I mean, is it even a fire exit?
Yeah, it's like right next to the fire exit. It's like people can just break in, but I mean, yeah. Got everything you need.
We try and keep it good, but we're in a gym here at Fitness Republic. It's like a new franchise.
Yeah.
I think they've got 4 or 5 across New South Wales at the moment.
Okay. So it's actually, I thought it was like an independent gym.
Well, it's a bunch of guys that sort of got together.
Yeah.
I think they bought out a couple of gyms originally. And
okay, cool.
So they've got me here at Maryland's, and I guess the plan is to get me to fill out the other spots at some point.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Okay,
so,
cool.
Yeah, man, that's sort of
it's about
pretty much it.
Yeah, cool. I was gonna. Alright, so we'll, I guess we'll do the boring, where you like what you've done. So we had a bit of a chat before. You said you've been in the industry for almost 11 years now.
Yeah.
So start us. I guess we'll just do that quickly, and then we'll just get straight into it.
Get that rubbish out of the way.
Yeah.
So about 11 years. So post schooling, I wasn't exactly too good at school. Like. I didn't really get a good UAI or ATAR or whatever they're calling it now.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
School doesn't even fucking matter. I mean, it doesn't even matter.
It's a joke. You know, that's another thing in itself, right? Fuck, we could get into that all day.
Yeah.
Institutionalized prison, whatever you want to call it.
Let's write that down to come back to.
We'll get back to that.
Institutionalized prison. Yeah. So yeah.
Definitely should have got Johnson scotches. I don't know, man. I just didn't like school. I was an athlete when I was at school, so I was a swimmer, a high-level national swimmer.
Cool. What was your stroke?
I was a breaststroker.
Really?
And I was actually a swimmer at the same time as well.
That's pretty good. Wait,
fuck, I've been using that joke for years, bro.
I've never heard that before.
That must be a swimmer's thing.
That is hilarious. Fucking hell, you motorboat such a bitch. What is that off? What movie is that off?
What is it?
Wedding Crashes.
Wedding Crashes. That's a great movie.
Bro. It is.
Oh, fucking good shit talking. So pretty much like failed school, was like, oh shit, what do I do?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really just go, hey, I'm going to be a professional swimmer if you're not like good.
Yeah.
Or if you're not that good.
Yeah.
So sort of had 6 months off, was like, shit, want to be a physio because I was seeing them all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, the easiest pathway at the time was go to TAFE.
Cool.
So do 2 years at TAFE, get a diploma or advanced diploma in massage therapy.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were calling it back then.
Yep.
Did that for 18 months. While I was doing that, I got into exercise science, did 3 years of exercise science at Western Sydney Uni. Yep. Out Campbelltown way.
Did you get accredited with ESSA then? Or was that after when you did your math?
After that. So I was within the last cohort that didn't have to go and do a master's.
True. Okay. So, because that's the thing now, right? You do your master's in EP.
EP, yeah. Cool. Which, I mean, like, fuck, man, it's just another 30K.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I sort of got in at the right time. A lot of friends didn't at the time, but in that last year, I applied for physio. Mm-hmm. It was always something I wanted to do, but like we were talking before, that was the dark ages of physio, of TENS machines and ultrasound and heat packs. So there's nothing wrong with those.
Yeah. He's got his hands up in the air like he's getting assaulted or something like that.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
Plus the sensor light might turn off.
Dodgy office. Nah.
So, yeah, man, it was like, what's the sort of easiest way? Did exercise science, got into Masters of Physio at USyd.
Oh, cool. University of Sydney?
Yeah.
How prestigious.
Oh, everyone says that.
I just like shoving it into anyone that goes there because they're like, fuck, I hate it when people say that. That's exactly why I said it.
Man, I knew exactly that was going to happen, but the thing was, like, that year was like Khoury University came out with like a doctor, a physio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we had like
doctorate in physio.
Yeah, man. So you have like
fucking hell.
You have us sort of going, okay, now we're physios, but then you got another class of physio that call themselves doctors of physios.
Well, there you go. Is there much difference in between it? Like, obviously they do like a PhD in it to be able to call it.
I think so, or they do like some sort of, I don't know, research thesis, something like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's literally they just get a little bit more advanced training within clinics. I mean, to be honest, they probably do a few more subjects as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just chose Sydney because I was like, well, it's only 2 years rather than 3. It's not going to cost me, I think it's like $100K or something like that.
For the Masters?
Yeah, man. So
damn.
So if you're
that's hectic.
If you're thinking of doing physio, take out a big ass loan.
Fucking hell. So you've obviously paid that off now, have you? Or
yeah, no.
Nah?
No way, bro. Sydney Uni's like, I think it was like 72 or 76K. So for the 2 years.
Holy fuck! I was like, mate, because I thought you could do like online and shit for it.
Oh, bro.
But I mean,
I wish.
Damn.
I mean, I get it. I get it because it's like if we, when you did massage therapy.
Yeah.
When you went in, like, I mean, what did you have to do all day? Massage people,
just
right?
Touch people. It was just. I honestly I remember the first time. I'm sure you can too. Like, we used to have like a little clinic we still have a working clinic.
Yeah.
So they get all the students in, and like they get all the people from the public to come get treated from us.
Yeah.
And I remember like the first day we were touching people, like each other.
Yeah.
And like we had to have all the blinds open so the teachers could see that we're doing the right strokes and shit like that. And I just remember like if you were on the table, you were just like making weird eye contact with the guy next to you who was like also getting touched, and you were just. I just remember everyone like looking around the room like this is fucked. Like
so awkward.
Yeah, like why is he's like touching my leg and like like you don't know how to drape, so you got like the fucking towel up to like just halfway up your thigh.
So awkward.
And then so
you're
like
doing these little
little glides. And you're trying to do like an elbow or forearm like up halfway up the thing, and you're like. This is fucking weird.
I even remember that, like do you remember, like, did you guys do posture? I'm sure you did postural assessments.
Yeah.
Remember, I was that guy in class. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll get my shirt off. But they're like, no, get everything off. I just met these people and I'm sending my undies.
Your undies.
Yeah, it's just let's assess his physical
his
like
cock height. Yeah. See how big his cock is. Is it an anatomical length? All those things. Does it have a right or left bend? Lefties is the besties, by the way. I'm not sure about you, but lefties is the besties. Speaking for a friend. Yeah. But I just remember that. I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, I think with the physio part, man, it's like, I think I'd done a year of my masters, and then I sort of had failed the subject. I was like,
which one was that? Do you remember? Or?
It was I think it was neurological physio. So
we'll come to that for sure because I want to hear what your thoughts are on the current pain science and everything.
Oh yeah. So like, I mean, this was more like post-stroke victim.
Oh, okay. So like cardiopulmonary and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Well, we have those subjects as well, man. I think I failed by a mark, and I was, just an angry kid. So I was like, Sydney Uni failed me. And it's like, well, no, bro, you failed. Like, you're the
fuck the man, not me. It can't be my fault.
It's like, bro, you're giving me a fine for holding drugs, but it's like, yeah, bro, you had drugs. You know what I mean? It's just, it's actually your fault.
I've got some mates that have actually had that happen. You're like, you did have the drugs.
It's like we're in the wrong, bro.
Those copper dogs, you're like, bro. I feel like I've just like said bro 1,000 more times because I'm in Maryland.
I was going to say, well, I pretty much said cuz and bro about 1,000 times right now because that's what the language is out here. So.
Literally, cuz and bro.
You just got to get used to it, man. It's not like
It's not a bad thing.
Oh, look. I mean,
nah,
if you went up north, maybe.
Yeah, right. When you say north, where's that?
Say like northern Sydney.
Oh, fucking like Pontyland.
Yeah.
Like Bondi and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's. I mean, look, it's. I guess it's how people view it, but like, I don't know. I think out here people think we have like an extra testicle or something. Maybe it's the excess radiation or 5G. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's something. You know?
Wait, you do have extra testicles.
Yeah, well, isn't that right?
Yeah,
like, I'm supposed to have 3.
Yeah, but it's like the thing like people say about Tasmania, right? Like they're all inbred.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. You're like, oh, you're from Maryland.
Because you said you're from Canberra, right?
I'm from Canberra, yeah.
Where in Canberra?
So I was originally. Do you know Cornwall?
Ooh,
it's like
maybe. How close to Bruce?
So it was actually pretty much like as I lived in pretty much in my Canberran life. I went from pretty much as far south as you could.
Yeah.
And then I actually ended up in Bruce probably about 2 years ago when I was living there with my housemates.
Yeah.
And obviously I pretty much lived right next to the uni. And then after that, I moved to Gungahlin. But yeah, I was at Bruce for 2 years.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like that's where I was.
Well, I lived in Bruce.
Oh, really? What street?
Oh shit! It was this.
Off Lampard Circuit.
It was the uni.
Oh, you lived at the uni?
Yeah. Okay. So like I did that year of physio. I was like, fuck Sydney Uni. They failed me. Yeah. That's my fault.
Yeah.
And I went down to Canberra for a year because I was like, you know what? I'll do the Bachelor of Physio.
What do you reckon of that? Like.
Look, they were good, man. They had started the course, so I think it was
it's a very new course still. Yeah.
I think it was getting accredited by Physio
in
Australia. So people were like, "Wait, if you guys don't have accreditation, is this course going to be
like actually good?"
Yeah, like it's going to be ready.
Yeah.
Am I going to finish and be like, "Hey, I'm a physio"? Eventually, I was just like, "Fuck, Canberra's a little bit cold."
Yeah.
When I was down there, I spent a lot of time just powerlifting.
Yeah, cool. So what gym were you out of then?
At the time,
Strength Syndicate.
So Burley Strength. Shout out to Sherry.
Yeah.
People,
Fuck yeah.
Love this. I was training with him under PTC Canberra at that time.
Oh, cool.
And then once I left, sort of, Sherry managed to build it up even further than he has.
Yeah. It's pretty big down there.
Now,
I guess. So who else do you know down from Canberra then? Do you know like Alan Romero? Do you know Michael Bray?
Yes, Bray Strength. Bro, Michael Bray, what a
Michael
Bray? Of course, bro. He's a sicko.
He's my homie.
He's gonna love it, bro.
Yeah.
He's gonna love it.
Shout out to Michael Bray. you gotta ask. Everyone knows Bray.
Oh
yeah,
man, I remember.
He was my first mentor.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, 100%.
Bray was sick, man. He would. I think he'd pulled 300.
Yeah, that was very that was probably about 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Mate, you've peaked.
hard, bro. I think that was he had first done it, so we're all like, fuck, if Mickey can do it, like. Surely I can.
A
few years later, we managed that, but
yeah,
man. Like Bray, Cheryl, that was pretty much the sort of click.
Yeah.
I was only there for a year, man, and it was like, oh shit, I'm in Canberra. Like I'm like Arab. I'm the only person here.
I was gonna ask, what is your background?
So man, I've got a few things, man. Like my old man is.
I would say Croatian.
Yeah, see, that's completely
nut.
Yeah, not I like a lot of friends that are Croats.
Yeah.
But my father's Lebanese Palestinian.
Okay, cool.
And my mother is Irish with a background of Russia.
Oh, really?
So
damn, you got a bit, yeah.
Yeah, so we can have some falafel and we can have some potatoes. So.
Speak some. Can you actually speak Arabic or?
I can, but I probably say something. Well, pretty much the only thing I can say is swear words.
Swear words. So, just say some swear words. Teach me some swear words. I want to say fuck or something like that.
What am I thinking?
I know it's real phonetic though. It's you got to have it roll off the tongue.
Yeah, it's sort of, and that's the hard part is I sound just like a Australian trying to do an Arabic.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Word.
Yeah.
If I said kusamak, if you heard that,
yeah,
I mean
kusamak.
To be honest, I'm not even 100% sure what that even means, but I know it's F your mum or something like that. Fuck your mum.
You hear that, everyone?
Or suck my dick or something like that. It's one of those, right?
But
yeah, it's it's trying to be the West Sydney Bogan Arabic.
I had a mate who spoke Farsi because he was Iranian.
Yeah.
Fuck, it just...
it sounds so different, bro.
It's weird, man. It's honestly, it just sounded like he was mumbling.
Yeah.
I mean, not to be racist or anything. It just sounded I was like, fucking hell. It's just, there's so many slight little ways to like move your tongue and all that sort of stuff. Like it's crazy. Like
I think someone said to me like you roll the R's.
Right. Okay. Right.
But like my missus, she's a Syrian, which
really
is like I think it's like within the Irani regions.
Yeah.
Like they're a Christian group. Like
yeah.
So hearing their style of Assyrian, it's not exactly Arabic, but it just has like a same thing. Like I'll hear them speak, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like noise? What is that?
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's out this way, out west.
Yeah.
It's very well in this region anyway. It's very Middle Eastern. You also have now like that mix of Afghani, Pakistani, Bangladeshi.
So I'm just making sure
I don't
have anything open. Otherwise, yeah.
And then your occasional Australian.
Yeah, cool.
So, but yeah, man, that's sort of the direction I headed with eventually with physio was when I was at Exercise Science. I had a friend or a couple of friends that shout out to Dimi and Damo. They
love the shout
out. They got me into powerlifting.
Okay, cool.
Back then it was equipped powerlifting, so we were using squat suits and bench shirts.
Yeah, fuck.
Good old days.
Raw shit.
No raw shit, right?
Yeah.
Then eventually someone came along and said, hey, let's do powerlifting without these things, which doesn't make sense.
Knee sleeves and belts, right?
Yeah, what are those things? So got into that, and then it just continued, man. Now, I don't exactly specialise, but I love powerlifting, and I love physio, human anatomy, so I just tied shit together.
Very cool.
So I think now it seems like I've got a bit of a following with my breathing stuff and respiration stuff.
Mate, you've got to branch out as well, right?
Yeah, it's sort of like, man, you can't just stick needles and rub people for the rest of your life. So,
it's
good to find that little niche.
For sure.
That's sort of where I've headed with it all.
Because I noticed, is Kevin Union one of your clients? Or?
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. So Kev, Big Kevy, you're going to see him today.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah, he we've known each other I think 5-6 years now. So
cool.
We sort of when I got back into the raw scene of powerlifting, we were training together here and there out at City Gym with the coach there, Alex Lowe at the time.
Okay, I've heard of City Gym for some reason.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure it's in the Cross.
Okay.
So we were doing that for a while. Then Kev eventually did his thing at uni.
Yeah.
Started his.
Because what has he done? What is
exercise
science as well? Yeah. Okay.
So Kev is probably pushing more that strength and conditioning.
Yeah, like SNC background.
SNC for sure.
Cool.
He's probably one of the better strength coaches I know now.
Yeah.
He's definitely worked his way up. He has an immense eye for like technique, which I think, being with say Sebastian Oro.
Yeah, he's obviously
definitely helped.
Yeah.
But on top of that, like Kev had a great background.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, man, we just Kev's now like coming up to potentially a world record level bench.
He's strong as fuck, man.
Yeah, bro, it's so hard to get him on this little fucking dingy bed here.
Because he's just like so wide.
Bro, he's so wide. You'll see him today and you'll be like, the fuck is he going to fit through a doorway? So pretty much...
Saw those big lats.
Yeah, man, it's just lats and delts and pecs. So we'll sort of see, like, Kev's coming up to a comp soon, so I'm trying to manage a few niggles here and there for him.
Okay, so are you doing his... Obviously not doing his programming as well, or
no.
Okay.
So
is that?
I think under Sebastian.
Still. Oh, okay, cool. Because I heard, is it James writes a lot of does all the
Yaman
and stuff. Yeah.
Shout out to Yaman.
Yeah.
Yaman, I'm pretty sure does a lot of the programming as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But that gym's phenomenal. Like the whole base crew. I've done a little bit of work, like mainly with Kevin. But those boys, I think I spent a bit of time with them at Pro Raw up in like the Arnold Classic.
Yeah, how was that?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, I just got to see a really good view of what a team should be like.
Yeah, cool.
Like those boys really, and I mean,
they do get around each other. Hey.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. That to me is like what a team.
Yeah.
Powerlifting seems a bit individual.
Yeah.
But like really, you need the G up from everyone else.
Yeah.
That's just the way things should go. And
those
boys, along with the girls within their team, they crank it, man. They're the best at what they do. So but on top of that, I sort of deal with a couple of other.
Yeah, I was going to say, So like, Not like specialising, but you've obviously got a bit of a niche in it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, there's a couple of boys like Will Crozier. Currently, he's the top 110. I think someone's just surpassed that potentially. I think that might be Big Leroy. But I know he's pro roll winner.
Yeah.
Never really got to physically do much with Will, but it's a lot of talking and ideas and that sort of stuff with him. Mm-hmm. So shout out to Will, good man. Another great coach.
Yep.
Great team. But yeah, man, other than that, I've got a few other drips and drabs of lifters, a few up-and-coming boys like Kieran Brown from Blue Mountains.
Okay.
He's under the Nexus team with Will.
Oh, yeah.
So we should see some big numbers from him.
Okay, so they come down to see you, do they? Or
Yeah, man, yeah. I've been pretty lucky. Like, it's weird because, I don't know, I sit back and think, like, am I good at what I do? You know what I mean?
It's so weird, eh?
Yeah,
like, am I good? Yeah.
Am I good at what I do? But some of the coaches, like Thomas Lilly, another great coach.
Okay.
From from Zero Weakness. Now,
Yep.
In Gold Coast. When I was under doing his programming before my own injuries, he would send a lot of his lifters.
Okay, cool.
So like a couple of girls, Maddie Moss,
okay.
She's coming up. Hopefully we should see some big numbers from her at Pro Roll next year.
Sick.
Sorry, Maddie, I don't mean to scare you or freak you out. So yeah, man, we've got a few good lifters coming through.
Yeah, cool. That's pretty mad. Do you have any physios under you then, or?
At the moment, no. I've got a business partner.
Yeah, okay.
Mark and myself, we just got sick of working for people.
Yeah, it gets a bit like that. Hey.
Yeah, it's sort of like, you know, you don't want to be like, I didn't want to be the physio that saw someone every 10 minutes. You know what I mean? It's sort of like the way I treat here is lots of manual therapy because I believe that helps.
Yeah.
And then it's sort of like, you know, I do about 45 minutes to an hour appointments.
Yeah, cool.
So I can get as much into a session as possible.
Yeah, I think that's one of the hardest things that I'm seeing at the moment is like some people, there's like this massive, you know, divide between getting shit done and then, you know, just trying to push people out the door as well.
Yeah, sort of like, you know, we talk about the dark age of physio.
Yeah.
You know, that would have been easy. I could have had 6 rooms.
Yeah.
2 constant fucking... an interferential machine, one an ultrasound, like, you know, I could have done that. You can hire as many people, you can make plenty of money.
It's crazy, man. Like, I think even, like, I used to go see someone down, like, back when I was in Canberra.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, they'd chuck needles in me, they'd be like, don't move, and then, like, they'd be seeing someone else in the other room.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm paying, like, $140 an hour for this, or, like, not even an hour, you know? It's fucking crazy. But,
shit, 140 an hour?
It was pretty...
Fuck, man, I gotta jack my prices up.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, yeah. You kind of think about it and you're like, fuck.
I definitely get it. And I mean, that's the thing, man. I was a patient like anyone else.
Yeah.
Same thing, man. It was that dark age and it's like, this machine is gonna fix me.
Yeah.
But now it's more like, and I know there's this whole realm of like pain science and all this stuff, but I'm definitely into playing around with the central nervous system.
Yeah, cool.
You know, this idea of like, you know, I don't know if you guys have learnt it within massage therapy. We didn't, but it was, you know, like the scraping and the
so you like pretty big into Graston and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Instrument assisted soft tissue moves. Like that to me doesn't necessarily break adhesions down.
No.
To me, that plays with the central nervous system.
Yeah. That's interesting. Hey, like I'm not sure. I'm not convinced on the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I don't know, like, doesn't it break up adhesions? Like, because from what I was taught, it's like, you know, you sink into something and like, you know, a certain amount of drag and then it's going to break up gags and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it could, but like, there's a lot of research that says it doesn't either.
But then also, how do you research it?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right?
That's the argument. I mean, that's the argument from the person that does it to make money.
Yeah.
Like,
so do you believe that hands-on breaks up?
See, that's the like another argument, man. When I was a massage therapist predominantly, which I still integrate into my treatment now, it's like when I would do a myofascial release, you know, like those deeper slow glides.
Yeah.
Bro, people's range of motion would like change significantly.
Yeah, it'd go from like fucking like 150 to like 180. Yeah.
And you'd sit there going, how can you tell me that it doesn't break something down?
And that, it's so funny because like I know there's just like so many people that have fucking like had their head up their ass in the evidence.
Yes.
But it's like, okay, fucking put that into practice.
Yeah.
And you see all these massive changes. And it's like, I understand that there's both sides to it, but it's like you can't ignore what you're actually getting on the table.
That's what I mean. Like,
it's
and I get now that there's more of this, we use I think in physio we use the excuse of a neurophysiological effect. I do that in inverted commas because it's like, how did it work? Oh, fuck, we don't know. Let's just go with neurophysiological. Yeah. So it's, you get your peptide release from the spinal cord, or, you get your, I guess the central nervous system does whatever it needs to do to change the muscular tone, or, there's something there. Yeah. So for the comfort for a patient.
Yeah, you've got to be able to
and
explain it as well.
You've got to explain the words, but it comes back to like, there are some patients you're just going to say, it breaks up adhesions, and then there's other patients that want to understand that it doesn't do that, and that it wants to, change how your brain perceives the area, as an example. Yeah. Which, it's sort of like, I don't know if you've noticed this, but like the whole Instagram manual therapy shunning.
Mate, that's it's fucking huge at the moment. It's like, you obviously needle and everything
as well.
Well, I mean, it's like it's shown in the research not to do anything. It's like, how can you tell me that it doesn't work?
But then there's plenty of research as well to say it does work. Yeah. I know that, people will argue like double blinds and RCTs and that.
But fuck, like, but then people are like, oh, it doesn't say it in the research. But then it's like, well, there's a difference between research and evidence as well, bro. Like,
yes. Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I take it. Obviously, I take it with a grain of salt because everyone, there are some really big like influencers on the internet now that people just have like a fucking cult following, and it's like they'll just fucking like jump on. Like I really like Move You.
Yeah, fuck, those are great blokes.
They're amazing. Like I think like some of the stuff they say, you're like, oh okay, but like I think like from what I've seen, there's some guys that are just like, fuck Move You. You can't say that back pain comes from this exact thing. It's like, lower back pain is like, you can't say it does, but they're not saying it's just coming from one thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, have you seen that?
Of course, man. Of course. It's just... Like, there's a physio I have a lot of respect for, but also you sit back and you're like, man, like this is a bit cringe. Just Adam Meekins, he's a phenomenal shoulder physio. Don't get me wrong. And I would never...
That's who I was referring to.
I would never say he's bad or like anything like that, but it's, you sit back and go, look, man, I understand you've worked in the national health system in Britain. Yeah. And like, that is probably, you're seeing someone maybe every 10 minutes or whatever it might be. But here in my clinic where I need to put food on my table, like I'm going to have to, service a client. Yeah,
it's not just boom, boom, oh, wham, man, man. You actually...
Yeah, like, I mean, I get, like, you could just exercise. That's fine. But to me, man, it's sort of like, I've seen enough pain and discomfort from people to go, bro, this guy's not going to do a lateral raise. He's fucking super tear. He's killing it. No matter how many ranges you try. Like, no offense at him. No. It's fantastic. But it's sort of like, well, if I put a needle in, and I get that substance P release, or I get that, it's like almost like an opioid response, release, from the central nervous system. Well, fuck, maybe he's going to have 10 minutes of no pain. Or like a different sensation. So then the guy can move his arm.
Change it,
So it's sort of like, even if I rub it for a bit, it's going to make it, calm those mechanoreceptors and pain receptors down and allow him to move a bit more in his range of motion, which then he can go and train. So
and then if he can train in that new range and he doesn't have any pain anymore, then we're all good.
And even if that lasts 72 hours or if it lasts a day, fuck, it's better than nothing, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the thing as well. It's like where everyone's like, you can't tell a client. I'm just trying to find a good way to word it. Like, they're just like, you can't. What is that word? Where you can't tell, it's like nocebo. You can't give someone a nocebo treatment or something like that, because that's against their human rights and shit like that. Well, it's like, well, if they're getting a response from it, then is that a nocebo effect?
And like, if that was, you know, you're saying like a response, like I can measure that.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly right. It's measurable.
Get me a goniometer or even just a visual change in his ROM.
Yeah.
To me, that's an objective measure.
Exactly.
Measure. Like we can use those things to say there is some change.
Yeah.
I can't explain it other than using the word neurophysiological.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. And then it's all right, bro. Go and fucking do your rotator cuff exercises. Do your things. So, like, a big one, like say with powerlifting. I mean, mostly, like we see a couple of different styles of injury, and a lot of the stuff is like, if they're coming into a comp and they're injured, what am I going to do, bro?
You can't do shit, man.
Do your manual therapy shit because that helps pain. Yeah. And like, there's the argument for and against, but with pretty much every patient I've probably ever had, it's if I rub it, it feels better. Yeah. So cool. That's given that person some little bit of rest from those fucking messages to the brain. So this is sort of like my, not necessarily attack against people that are non-manual therapy, but I do get that manual therapy is necessary, but it's not the be all end all.
No, exactly right. I think you can take a little bit from both, right? It's you got to have exercise and completely believe that. But I also think it's kind of like pretty much one of my mentors, who was like, you know, as soft tissue therapists, like we remove. What do we remove? Inhibition. Yeah. Remove inhibition to remove dysfunction. Get rid of pain, essentially. Yeah. And that's what we do, right? Like,
that's pretty much, man. Yeah. I mean, like as an example, a couple of weeks ago, I was working with the Chinese Olympic snowboarding cross team.
Fucking hell, explain that.
So, funnily enough, man, like to sort of start the story, there's a guy on Instagram. Shout out to Fletcher Techniques. He'll love this. James Fletcher. He's a physio up in the Gold Coast.
James Fletcher. Okay.
He's a respiratory specialist.
Oh, cool. I'll have to go see him then.
Yeah, he's good, fucking funny bloke, man. He's down in Sydney at the moment. He basically, man, he works with the Australian swim team.
Okay.
And,
what about respiratory?
Cool. So he mainly does a lot of breathing style assessments. Me and him linked up because he's got some goals of his own, and I'd like to learn his sort of, his way of assessment. Yep. And it's sort of, he came down, we did our session, learned whatever we needed to learn from each other. He basically helped us to get a position with the Olympic team. The Chinese Olympic team, because he was doing some work with them.
Fuck yeah.
So we went...
That's you and your business partner?
Or just myself. Yeah, so my business partner, he takes care of another clinic that we have down in Campbelltown.
Okay, cool.
So we went down to Mount Hotham in Victoria. Spent a couple of weeks down there.
That's fucking mad.
Bro, crazy. I mean, I never snowboarded in my life, but snowboarding, I can understand where pain and discomfort comes from,
dude,
right?
I fucking hate skiing, man. I hate it. It's just...
I can't imagine, imagine tearing your groin.
Dude, I had a mate just down in Canberra do it fucking... Like, she had an accident. She's fucking, broken her tibia.
Shit.
And it's just she's a strength coach as well. And she's just fucking hobbling around the gym now. It's like I can't see. Fuck. Now that my hands are my instruments. Yeah. I don't want to fucking hurt them. You're right.
That's a big thing.
Do you kind of find yourself pulling back on things now because you're like, fuck, if I fuck my hands, I'm actually fucked.
Bro, I mean, coming back to that, lots of we call them fuchsias or
fruit. Yeah.
So falling on outstretched hands.
Yep.
The amount of fuchsias we saw, along with we had potential ACLs that came through. Even just most of these athletes were from 13 to 22. And then, every day they were coming to us for pain. And I mean, we had this language barrier, obviously, but the big thing was man, even if you just rub it and you do something, someone else's touch has some effects.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you just have to band-aid it with a bit of K-tape. Yeah. And I get that there's some ethical whatever, people are going to say research says no. But
it's research back.
Yeah, this is the argument, right? There's some research and some Were you supposed to say nothing? But
yeah.
It was sort of like the whole thing was you just have to sit back and go, well, these athletes need to compete.
Yeah.
What do we have to do to make sure they can?
They can.
You know,
and
they don't understand. They're, half kids basically.
Yeah,
so,
they are fucking kids.
Yeah, it's sort of like, all right, I'll put the K-tape on. If that stops his pain message for a couple of hours, good. It means he can get back on his board and beat everyone else.
That's interesting. Yeah,
that's sort of like, it comes back to that.
You can't do anything. I think that's what I wanted to ask you about as well. It's like I've obviously as an up and coming therapist, like I've sort of noticed, especially in the last year, like there's almost too much you can do as well for someone.
That too.
Yeah,
100%.
I think like the better I get at it, the more I'm like, all right, I can actually see if I push this a little bit too far, then he's going to go back to the way it was.
Yeah, man.
So I mean, I guess like having so many powerlifters come through.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, what is the maximum that you're gonna do for someone?
Yeah.
So you don't fucking, like I'll give you a scenario. Like the other day, I was like doing someone's back, like they just fucked the facet.
Yeah.
But like I treated it, and then I did a little bit of sacral work and whatever, and then that put him right back to where he was.
Yes. Yeah.
So I was kind of like, fuck, I probably pushed it a little bit too far.
Yeah.
Say someone comes in with a shoulder issue.
Yeah.
What's your pretty much like limit on what you're gonna do? Especially before a comp.
It's always I guess like if we look at like athlete sort of timelines and whatever, it's say with powerlifting, let's just say 4 weeks out they hurt themselves.
Yeah.
They're going to come into a peak block. So the general intensity is going to be relatively like moderate to high because they will need to work with those heavier weights.
Yeah.
The volume may be reduced. So volume being like sets and reps.
Yeah.
So at least there's sort of like a little bit of a rehabby window. I mean, the big reason I sort of love the complexity with powerlifting and trying to rehab shit in that realm is like, I wouldn't want to say Kev, but like, let's say a bencher, right? Knock on wood, Kev never hurts himself, right? But it's more like, say a bencher tears their pec.
Yeah.
Let's say a grade 1 strain.
Yeah.
So
pec major or?
Pec major.
Yeah.
Sort of like, all right, we can assume that physiology and anatomy, tells us that you may be looking at 4 to 12 days of like, before that, is fully healed.
Yeah.
Let's take an athlete in the realm of powerlifting, the world should know, or obviously does know, there is a performance enhanced side, and there's obviously a natural side. No. Oh my god!
People are
doing illegal things. We are in Maryland.
Yeah.
So the less complex, like the less complicated part of that is if they are one of those enhanced realm athletes.
Obviously, that brings down the healing time.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So, but the other part with that is like, if you imagine, this yourself, is like if the tissue is torn, and it heals, that tissue needs to be more resilient than the surrounding tissue, so that it can, accustom to the load and function. So, the big thing, like, let's say someone tears, they tore their pec, got it 4 to 12 days. That might be hard, or even lessened with, a bit of testosterone.
Yeah.
That's what they're using to come into comp.
Yeah.
It's sort of like you want them to keep training.
Yeah.
That's sort of the kind of my jib with this place is like, I don't want you to stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
Let's do something that's like a variant.
Like a modified,
modify the activities. Like if Andrew Locke was very big on this with bench press and pec tears was if you tear your pec, bench.
Still bench.
Just
less.
Yeah, just do less. Like if 100 kilos hurts you, do 80. Does
it
hurt you?
Yeah.
No. So do the work with 80.
That's really interesting because like I'm not sure where I picked it up from, but it's kind of like everyone's always like, should I stop doing these things? Like no.
That's just it, man.
Pain, honestly, it's like pain is going to be your guide. And everyone's like, wait, what do you mean? It's like, well, if it hurts, fucking back it off a little bit.
Yeah. And that's sort of the, like, we may have to then say to the athlete, like, look, we may actually have to take 5 or 10 kilos off your presumed total for the comp.
Yeah.
Just because you fucked your pec, man. Like, that's no other way around it. And, the athletes are very obviously strong-minded. Some won't accept the fact.
Yeah, well, like, you're never going to fucking stop someone that's at that elite level either.
Of course, man.
Or even at low levels. Like, people will just have a fucking...
Man, even novices. Novices have incredible drive just as much as an elite athlete.
Yeah.
But I guess the hard part, man, is like, get them doing something variantly less painful. Okay. Maybe modify the joint range of motion, or do a variation of benching for the time being.
Cool.
But you want to obviously stay as specific as possible.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, I mean, for me, right? Like, let's just say someone tears a pec. I'm going to get them in, assess, find out what it is. I'm basically going to massage. I'm going to needle, and I'm going to potentially maybe K-tape. I'm going to do all the things that everyone tells me doesn't work.
But I mean, that's pretty much like, like a lot of, I'm not sure, do you know Jeff Murray?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
not
like,
personally or anything.
Yeah. So like, I'm mentoring under him at the moment.
Yep.
But like, that's a lot of, like, pretty much over, like, I don't know, he's been training for like the last 25 years.
Yeah.
Those are, like, he's studying under Kenzo Kaze, who did the whole K-tape, like,
K-tape originally.
Yeah, and like, he needles and he gets fantastic results. People walk out of his clinic in like 2 sessions and they're fixed. So it's like,
Yeah, this is the big arms in the air argument. Right?
Yeah.
So like, once again, if the athlete now has K-tape, he's had his, needles in his scar tissue and he's had his neurophysiological effects, then go on bench, man. Go on bench to an intensity that we can handle and a volume that we can handle. But it wouldn't be like, man, I sort of remember working for someone and was like, give them as many exercises as possible.
Yeah.
Sort of like, well, the poor bastard's got to do 6 exercises under this intensity. Why am I going to give him 50,000?
Other exercises.
Rehab exercises. So trying to keep it more specific. It's sort of that's the way I basically follow it up.
Yeah, cool.
Just use all those manual therapy things.
I think that's cool as well, because it's like I think what I've also viewed recently is it's like I've had like heaps of people come to me and they're like, number one, people can't explain to me what's happening.
Yeah.
Like you can. But number two, they don't give me rehab exercises.
Yeah.
And like manual therapy is great, but it's like if you don't give them the exercise to go and fucking actually like now get the strength in that range or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
You're never going to actually get a change.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, I get that
then they're like, oh, come back on Tuesday and it's Monday. Yeah.
Actually, that's a sort of another selling point for myself is like, I prefer to see people as little as possible.
Right. So it's like I love it. Because I'm the same. I'm like, if I can't get a good result in like 2 to 3 sessions, I'm wondering what the fuck's going on.
That's a big one, right? Yeah. So unless they're super acute.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole other thing in itself.
But that there is manual therapy only. For a period.
100%.
But it's sort of like, let's say, Kev, you hurt your knee the other day. Cool. Here's some exercises, man. Let's try a week. Like, do this stuff for me. Do this mobility shit. Do these exercises. But not only that, like for me, I try to look at things like outside of the realm. So it's sort of like, all right, see what you're eating.
Yeah.
See what your sleep's like. Are you stressed at work?
Yeah. Man, that's awesome.
It's sort of like that. What do they call it? The biopsychosocial model?
Yeah,
right?
Cool.
I think I just try to do it myself. It's sort of like, if you're stressed, of course your injury's going to feel fucking shit.
Oh, mate, the amount of people that come, I'm sure you get the same, that are like, fuck, I've got so much going on at work, I just can't get this back sorted, I'm stressed as fuck, don't eat anything, and you're like, mate, it's probably nutrition.
Yeah, nutritional shit, right? Like, and I can see now that there comes that argument, like, where's the scope of practice, right?
Yeah, 100%.
But really, man, if you're going to call me a physical therapist or a physiotherapist, it's like, physically, the organs are there.
Yeah. Oh,
Did
you post that up or you shared that thing?
I shared that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was very interesting. I was like, it just gets you thinking.
And it's weird. Like I know things like osteopathy. I don't know if they do it now in Australia, but back in the day, it was like, oh, your iliosacral valve is basically right above your right psoas.
Yeah.
So it's like, is it actually your psoas, or is it because you ate fucking KFC last night, bro, and you haven't shit yet? Like, there's so many factors.
I know osteopathy is still reasonably big like that.
Yeah.
I know they're like really big on like knowing the systematic,
right?
Yeah. Because I mean, like they spend fucking like 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah. So, but I think if they're almost like the naturopaths of the allied health world. They're pretty good at what they do.
Yeah. It's like I think the original sort of quote for them was like structure governs function.
Yeah.
So
okay. Cool.
Imagine if the structure's fucked, what's the function going to be?
Fucked. Yeah.
Right. So it's the same. Like if your guts are fucked.
Yeah. You're
right?
Obviously
maybe the abdominal wall is fucked because the guts are so inflamed that the inflammation is not allowing for XYZ to occur for whatever, so that's why I sort of want to look holistically, like, because it's
air comments holistic, like,
integrated, right?
Yeah, that's our thing. We have integrated personal training. But it's like everything as a whole.
You want to look at everything, because I mean, if I discredit, which this is the big hate I have in Western medicine, even though it helps, definitely fucking helps, is the fact that we would like neglect emotion, neglect stress, neglect like the things that make us human, right? If someone is super anxious and doesn't breathe properly, right? If they're sympathetic all the time, if they're in that fight or flight response, how the fuck are they going to move? How are they going to breathe properly? How is, the structure's going to calm down? How is the inflammation going to settle when you haven't put them into a rest and digest state? So
obviously,
it's sort of like all those things matter to me when I'm treating.
Yeah. And it's just like, what route do you take first? That's the thing. Hey,
that's
like
right, bro.
You get someone in, they got all this shit going on. And it's kind of like, at the end of the day, what are they going to take from this?
Yeah.
What are they going to take from it? Because like you could fucking rattle off everything, and they're just not going to take it.
Yeah.
But if you give them like, what I try and do is like I'll try and give them a couple of little gems that they can take away and work on for a week.
Yeah.
And I see them again. I'm like, how'd you go with that? And then you can like add in that next sort of thing.
Next sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like you either progress it, regress it.
Yeah.
Or add that new technique.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So the sort of other thing I sort of try to do is like, do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Like I don't sit there and say needles just work.
Yeah.
It's like, well, the massage combined with needles, combined with K-tape, combined with exercise was going to have a greater effect than just exercise alone.
Yeah,
right?
It's funny because Luke, like he went to do the cadaver course.
Yes. Is that
with Tom Myers?
Oh yes. Oh the anatomy training.
Yeah. So he did that, and he was like, apparently, like obviously Tom's fucking the most amazing
what
dude.
A genius, bro.
Yeah, he was like, Tom was saying he's like 30%. Like you're going to get a 30% increase from all your different modalities. So it's like if you have the needling, if you have the manual therapy, if you have the exercise, that's like 90% there already, right? So it's like if you have all those things, fuck.
And I mean, a big one, man, is like listen.
Yeah.
We call them like soft skills, but fuck, if I was at uni, bro, and they had taught me
to listen
and like go, oh, you know what? Maybe we'll chuck in a psych unit.
Yeah.
Because I need to understand why this person is so not necessarily mentally fucked or anything like that. It's
just having a hard time.
Hard time, right? Like if I understood those things, then at least I'm not just going to be the guy going, yeah, pain, cool, whatever. That's what it is.
This is exactly what it is. Yeah, like it's just no black and white. Say, like you can't rule out. I think like it really, really shocked me. Like the first, so I've been training probably for about 18 months now.
Yeah.
The first 6 months, I was training like in a clinic, and I think I had like 2 or 3 people cry on the table on me.
Hard, yeah.
And I was just treating away in the hip flexors, and they just start fucking bawling, and I was like,
yeah.
But like, it's the way you manage it as well. Like in my head, I was like, what the fuck is happening? But then if you're like, whoa, you're a fucking weirdo. Obviously, they're just going to shut down as well, and then you're never going to get a result, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
It's like comes back to we neglect emotions, right?
Yeah.
I mean, one of these I would love to be have this sort of level of mentor, but like stop chasing pain.
Okay.
He's one of the guys.
Stop chasing. Yeah, no.
Dr. Perry.
Dr. Perry. Okay.
I share a lot of his posts just because I like the way he looks at things. He looks at things sort of I think he's on this big drive of like lymphatics.
Yeah.
But he will talk about like emotional releases.
Yeah.
Once again, I came from a Western background, and then I delved in a bit of Eastern because I just like how they look at things holistically, inverted commas. And then with say like looking at Perry stuff, I mean, he would mention something about an emotional release, and until you like, it's so weird, man, because when you are in a room with one person and they've just divulged, basically their life story to what's led them to their pain, and then they start bawling their eyes out when you touch a spot or needle a spot.
Yeah.
Like, how can you not credit that as something real or something that has an effect on the human system?
It's not in the research, so it doesn't make...
it comes back to, like, science itself is just the science. Like, I know that sounds a bit weird, but...
We chatted about it last week. We were like, I'm hoping I'm getting it right, but Luke was like, he heard from someone, I can't remember who, but he's like, science is just disproving what we think. It's not proving anything.
That's right.
We try and believe in something, but then we try and find evidence to find that we're full of shit. And I think that's what the greatest thing about this is as well, is it's like, we like, especially like coming through, like I've been a coach for like 3 years, but then going into the, like, especially from the treatment side, I'm like, fuck, like none of that actually carries over into the treatment, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I think my biggest thing now is I'm finding the lack of understanding just about like functional anatomy in like in the coaching world.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so like, like it's just like one of my big things, and I got taught this from my mentor, or one of my mentors is like, like people just like the basic thing, like anterior tilts, everyone's like, oh, we sit in an anterior tilt, which causes the hip flexors to get tight. It's like, cunt. Have you ever seen someone actually sit? They're not sitting in anterior tilt. They're sitting in hip flexion.
Yeah.
Sorry. They're sitting in flexion, which is going to cause length of the hip flexors, the psoas, the iliacus, which is then going to cause like reciprocal inhibition in the glutes, and no wonder you can't get your fucking glutes to work.
That's just squashing your glutes, bro.
Literally.
Your body weight is squashing them, right?
Yeah, but no one can get past this idea that the hip flexors are short and tight because we sit in an anterior pelvic tilt. And it's like, just because you're standing in the anterior fucking pelvic tilt doesn't mean you sit in one. Fuck, we just need to get past this idea. Like, it just kills me because everyone's talking about it. It's just like, if you knew your fucking anatomy, if you knew what actually, like, if you had a bit of a read into, like, if you took a little bit from everyone's treatment side, or, everyone's different context, you'd be able to get a different view on everything. It's like fuck, who do I follow? But they're like, oh, I go to this diver for my breathing stuff. I go to my dancers for my posing stuff. And it's you can't just look at like the strength and conditioning world, because there's so much shit there that just goes against everything that you taught as a therapist. Yeah,
it's weird, man. Like I guess it comes back to how long do you have at uni? If uni, not to say if uni, because people are like, well, you've got to learn. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But if you, like, say, look at exercise science, we looked at psychology, we looked at physiology, movement, exercise, a bit of rehab, but with exercise. Then you look at physio. Man, there was a huge chunk of shit that just was missing. Like, I remember in my second year, we had like an exam on, I think it was like MS5, which was musculoskeletal 5 at the time, which was cervical. So it was.
Thank you. It's fucking cervical. It's not cervical to everyone out there.
That must be like a.
Oh, mate.
Is that an American
thing?
It's an
American thing.
It is. It has to be cervical. It's
cervical. Yes.
Aluminum. Aluminium.
You hear that, Luke? Because like Luke and I always just Luke's like, it's cervical. I'm like, cervical. It's cervical, bro.
It's gotta be cervical.
It's so glad we debunked
Okay, that's good. That's perfect. Right? Like you actually, well, like the big thing. I think it was like we were doing an exam, and someone was like, at the time, this was before this research came out, but at the time it was 3 sets of 10 equals hypertrophy. 3 sets of 5 equals strength. That's when we had those stuck gradients.
And there's fucking blurred lines.
Blurred lines, right? And now it's like, no, anything invokes hypertrophy, anything lower reps in both strength, whatever. But back then I was like, what do you mean this person is a fourth year, like university student? They've done maybe exercise science or health science, yet no one or no course has like mentioned to these people that this is like the simple things we should know. Like, if we want to invoke this response, we should do this, right? Mm-hmm. But okay, I get it. They're a uni student, but to me that was like general knowledge. Maybe because I was in training or
I think so. Honestly, like it was just like we were talking about before, right? You have all these like, especially like I think like coming out of physio, obviously like no hands on.
Yeah.
But then you've got like all the S&C guys or like the exercise science-based guys coming out of fucking uni, and they're like, I'm an S&C coach now. It's like you have 0 hours of practical. Have you ever actually coached someone? You probably weren't like a PT before that, and now you just reckon you're a fucking super coach. And it's like, dude, go fucking spend hours in the trenches like a lot of the other PTs do. Like, just go get your hands on. Like, it's just
I like this is sort of the people go, oh, like Tommy, you're a physio. Like, I use the term.
Yeah.
And it's I integrate massage, EP, physio, some osteo.
Yeah.
Like osteo ideas, and same with chiropractic ideas. And like, to me, all this shit works in some way. Like people will have the argument, who's better?
I was gonna ask, what was your favorite? I think we said this before off air, but it was like, what was your favorite one to do?
Man, to be honest, massage therapy was like maybe that at the time. Because it was going from, hey, let's do math, science, and English and religion.
To deal with people.
Yeah, to deal with people. And like, here's a new language. Here's Latin.
Yeah.
Go and learn it,
It's fucking weird, eh? Like, it's crazy.
So I get why we had a massive dropout rate at TAFE just because of...
Same age. Yeah. Like, I think we started with about 50 people.
Yeah.
And we ended up with, from just our cohort, I think we ended up with about 8 or 9.
Actually, you know what? We had 40. And then there was me and 2 other boys that I know that finished that cohort.
And it's interesting now as well. Out of those 8 or 9 people, I only know like 5 or 6 of them actually treating.
Well, actually, I would say one
still
that I know
like 18 or a year later.
Shout out to Ray. So definitely those, like, it's crazy, man. Come back to say that functional anatomy, right?
Yeah.
Sort of. If you can understand how the body moves,
my
idea anyway, if you can understand how the body moves, but not only that, how the systems integrate.
Yeah.
So this is where I come back to my trying to go into like a breathing specialization stuff, is, uni taught us anatomy and physiology, or like we learned that stuff.
In isolation.
Yeah. So it was only a few years ago where I realized, oh shit, if you breathe, you get a change in hydrodynamics within the body. So there is a fluid change.
Yeah.
Your breathing changes pressure within the body. It also makes muscles move in a different way, which also pushes lymphatic fluid around, which also pushes blood and nutrients around. It's like, oh my God, everything works together, right? It's not like
so, like everyone's always like, I've got this muscle problem, it's a muscle problem.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if we think about it, every problem, every injury is always going to have a nerve component, joint component, muscular component, and then obviously everything that feeds into that as well, right?
Comes out of it.
Exactly, So that's more like input, but then what's the output,
Yeah, so sort of like this is where I come back to like being an osteo-minded like physio.
Yeah.
That's sort of maybe the way I might try to look at things, or this holistic approach.
Yeah.
Is because like, seriously, I've seen it, man. I've seen people not breathe properly, and there's that argument, what is breathing properly? But to me, it's using your diaphragm.
Yeah, and I guess that's a whole other thing. Hey, it's like, I'm no breathing expert, but I know the difference between belly breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, but then also chest breathing.
Chest breathing,
yeah.
And you forget, like, if shit doesn't move in the body, like a joint, if you don't move your knee, it gets stiff, right?
Yeah.
Then it gets sore.
Yeah.
Then we get pain.
Yeah.
Sort of like if your organs don't shuffle around the body a little bit.
Exactly the same thing.
What does the diaphragm do? It sits anatomically right above your stomach, spleen, and liver. Like, if you don't breathe with that, potentially, I don't know where the research is, or this is the argument.
But
shit might get inflamed. Like your stomach probably relies on the movement of your diaphragm for peristalsis, besides your body using peristalsis to move the food.
Very interesting concept. Yeah.
It's sort of like, at the same time, in between the diaphragm and the stomach, you have the spleen, which is your white blood cell, it's your lymphatic center as well, along with the thymus gland. But it's sort of like, if you're not breathing, bro, are you creating that pump effect?
Yeah.
All those systems, which all push the shit around or push fluid around and, clear out inflammation and all these things. And now you look at like the work of, say, Wim Hof or breathing, say, with James Fletcher.
Do you know Leo Daniel?
Yeah, I've heard of Leo Daniel.
He's that's Luke's sworn like breathing expert. So I feel if you ever needed to like do some breathing stuff, like apparently he's run like a marathon, like all nasal breathing, training.
Okay,
so
that's not easy, bro.
Yeah, so you get onto him. He's good.
Definitely. Like those things, it's sort of, you look at the research now with breathing and the effects on the human anatomy. It's like Wim Hof at the moment is a big one. Like I think Harvard or Yale University is doing the studies with his stuff, and I think the study was like they injected each patient or each client with some bacteria, got him to Wim Hof, and immediately that bacteria was attacked by the immune system, central nervous system.
Damn.
Compared to the groups that didn't Wim Hof. So it's like, well,
that's the crazy shit.
Yeah, you're gonna tell me that like shit doesn't work, or shit's not integrated, or shit's separate. Like
that's like real woo shit there. Like it's like it's in the research, but
it comes back to like, why do we have specialists?
Yeah.
Why would you have a breathing respiratory specialist when breathing is associated with digestion, which is associated with movement, which is associated with XYZ? Like this is sort of my like.
It's like you're a specialist of nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
in some sense, right?
Yeah.
Really, you should be a specialist in one thing, but know everything.
Yeah. See, I've always thought like that. I'm like, if they're a specialist in this, like, obviously they know everything about it.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it's like
they study for it.
Yeah. But it's like you've also like there's all of that stuff as well that you can't like rule out. So it's like my big thing like going forward is I want to be like a spinal and shoulder specialist.
Yeah.
But it's like how much of the hips do I actually need to know to be able to become the shoulder specialist, and how much of the left or opposite ankle lower body. Yeah.
Look, and it was the same when I started physio. Inverted commas physio. I want to be a shoulder physio.
Yeah.
But then it was like, fuck, what do you mean I can release a calf or like
and the shoulder's fine.
Yeah. So this just comes back to like anatomy trains. I mean, you look at the fascial slings and movement and all that, but it sort of knocked my specialization idea out the window, because I was like, why am I going to be a shoulder physio when the neck also affects the shoulder, the wrist, the elbow, the hip, the rib cage, the fucking knee, the ankle, the big toe?
Fuck. I mean, I've found it so hard recently to just find any research on like thoracic and thoracic pathologies. Yeah. I'm not sure if you're the same. I'm just...
There's, what's her name? Linda Joy Lee. I'm pretty sure. Dr. Linda Joy Lee.
Joy Lee.
She runs a course called, I think it's the thoracic rings concept.
The thoracic ring.
And she then integrates that into pelvic, sacral, cervical, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, have you done it, or?
I haven't. I've seen a couple of videos. It's made an old uni friend of mine that's done that, Adam. Yeah. He's pretty sure he's been able to integrate it pretty well into his practice. But the big thing is, like, I think she sort of looks at, like, if we talk about musculoskeletal pathology, even, systemic pathology, and then its association with breathing, and then the position of the ribs. Because, I mean, a few courses I've done, a lot of them sort of look at the thoracic spine as like the lynch point between upper and lower. So, there's dysfunction in the middle.
It's got to be up and down.
Up and down, right? Yeah. So, look, I think it's, again, man, we look at research, there's a million different areas that aren't like looked at. I just said about the big toe affecting the shoulder in some way. How do you research that? How do you get a population of people for that? What are the conditions going to be? How do we not have bias and all that sort of stuff? But sort of like, I've seen it enough in my own hands-on clinic anecdotal evidence to say, like, okay,
it does.
The walking position. I mean, what's that course? Anatomy in Motion is a massive one. AIMS.
Anatomy in Motion.
They look at, I don't know 100% because I haven't done it, but from what I've seen with some friends, they look at like how the ankle or the foot pronates and supinates and how that affects, the kinetic chain.
Yeah, it's interesting because like one of my teachers was always talking about like how obviously the calves are so important for like the lower back and shit. But he was saying it's I've found it a lot recently, like people with just shit calf strength getting all this back pain. And apparently, I haven't actually read it, but it's like there's like the feed forward mechanism where the calf will actually like pre-cock like the multifidi and that sort of thing. Yeah. And I'm just like, holy fuck! Like I'm testing all these calves now, and I'm like looking at how people are walking more than what I used to, and I'm just like,
mind blown, hey?
Yeah, it's just like you read one new thing, you're like, oh my god, like fucking, I've missed this and that, and, it's just
and even like look at the complexity of like the soleus, right? That's a muscle a lot of people sort of
think it's simple,
right? But in circles they would call it the second heart.
Mm-hmm.
It is basically a heart for your lower limb. How do we pump shit and waste out of our feet?
That's actually interesting. I've never actually heard of it being called that.
You look at the soleus like as the soul. Another thing for the soul, like, it acts to pump the lymphatic fluid and the hydrodynamics of the body away from the lower limb up to the body, like up to the top part of your body, right?
That's very cool.
So you see in the hospitals like post surgery for physio, even with hands on, it's like let's get him to do ankle pumps. Ankle pumps is basically dorsiflexion.
Yeah.
And their swelling reduces. Wow, oh my god, like it's some magic. No, it's just the calf muscles along with soleus is pumping fluid away from an area that doesn't allow for fluid exchange. So sort of comes back to...
You just made me think.
Well, this comes back to being like integrating areas, right? If someone's got ankle pain and it's swollen, and if their calf isn't going to efficiently move because of pain, well, we're going to have a backflow of lymphatic rubbish in that ankle, along with a lack of flow for good nutrients. So here's your integration, internet. Like, there you go. There's our system integration. You couple that with breathing potentially, and there we go. We have like
boom, bang, boom. Yeah.
So sort of like, I don't know, sort of the way I try to look at things. This is why you mentioned about pain science before.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't realize, like, I went on one of those physiotherapy forums for Australia, and fuck, these people hate each other, man. Like
Do they?
I don't even know what the whole pain science thing is, man.
I got asked about it recently, and I honestly didn't know that there was that much of a cult following of it. But fuck, I just stick my head out of shit that I don't know about.
I try to do the same, man.
Yeah, it's like I think that's one big thing is like you get to a point like you just like, holy fuck, I actually don't know what they're talking about. I'm actually not going to say anything.
Yeah, or I don't have that belief. So
yeah.
It's like another religion. I'm not going to comment on it because I don't understand what their belief is.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like maybe I'm a bit disconnected from the actual physio world.
Like the APA.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my god, he's registered. It sounded like ESSO,
Yeah.
It's another thing in itself. It's another body. It's a governing body. They've got their own rules and beliefs, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But we need these things anyway, so we can practice.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man. I mean, that's
cool.
Sort of the way I like to do things. And
it's been an hour.
Has it?
Yeah.
And the light hasn't turned off.
Fuck yeah! I think it's just we've been moving around.
I'm doing my leg shake.
Alrighty, I had a couple of questions. Yeah. I've got to fucking run very soon.
That's alright.
So, what's your favourite coffee place in Sydney?
Oh, fuck.
You're a coffee drinker, obviously.
Oh, I have to be, bro.
Yeah.
Look, it's
What's your favourite bean and your favourite coffee place?
Look, man, I actually don't mind Campos. Like, I know there's
this... fuck Campos. I hate Campos.
Shit. I don't mind it because, I mean, out Western Sydney way, that's a big thing. Like, if you've got Campos, shit, yeah, you're good coffee.
Yeah, true.
Goodfellas Espresso out in... so that's, like, my area.
Yeah.
Like a Bosley Park at Denzer.
Okay.
I don't even think they've got Campos. fuck. Okay, that's useless.
Oh, there you go. But still, yeah.
Yeah, it's...
yeah, you can have like a favourite chill out place though. Like, I just like to go just chill the fuck out.
Yeah, it's... man, look, there's quite a number around like the area. I mean, you've got like Excess Espresso is not too bad out there these ways. Espresso Warriors is another sort of good one. I mean, look, the thing is, man, you can go to somewhere, get a good coffee, but you can always get some barista that's just had a rough day and you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to burn his beans this morning. Yeah. And you've got, what am I tasting, bro? This black piss water. So, I mean, it's all variant on each day. Like, the boys across the road, Ali, he does a pretty good cuppa. I think it's called Quickie Cup Espresso.
Quickie Cup, yeah.
Yeah, it's not too bad, bro.
We might have to go get one after this.
Straight
I'm pretty keen.
100%. This banana bread's pretty good as well.
Ooh,
so,
mama.
But, yeah, man, there's a few good places.
Yeah.
If you want to head up north to Ritual, there's a good place, Ritual.
Cool.
Nathan's the owner there. He does pretty good coffee, man. Other than that, that's about it, I think, for the area.
Cool.
Otherwise, I make my own Arabic coffee. And
fuck, yeah.
It's probably like cocaine in the cup, man.
Oh, yeah.
Keeps you awake, keeps you going. So
that's just in the pot, right?
Yeah. Those little very strong, distinct smells.
Yeah, they're fucking good, man. I think it's all like roughly the same sort of thing, like Turkish coffee and like Croatian coffee and all that. I used to work in a Croatian restaurant, man, like I broth that shit. It's so good.
Really good.
It's like crap.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we've got we've got, what's your favourite quote?
Oh man,
Just one.
Just one? Okay. I'm gonna sound like a fucking pompous wanker, but actually a quote that I use, but I don't know who came up with it. Yeah. So I'm just gonna assume I did.
Obviously,
of course. A big one I use with my patients, and even just in my own life and my own experiences, like, get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
That's cool.
That's the. So I don't know who. Probably everyone has said that.
Yeah.
You can change that in so ways. So if you've got like
Tommy Khoury, 2019.
Yeah. So it's just. It is what it is, bro. Like if you're uncomfortable because of your pain, just get used to it.
Yeah, get used to it. Yeah. It's gonna change.
It's change, right?
It's not gonna last forever.
I mean that's just a big life quote. Other than that, it'd be like, if you want to look at physio stuff, it'd be like structure governs function.
Yep.
You know, if something doesn't sit right, it may not function right. That's about it, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mad. Alright, I've got one other one for you.
Yeah.
I reckon we're gonna make this the thing that we do. I want you to get your phone up.
Yep.
I want you to read your daily horoscope.
Oh shit.
What are you, by the way?
I'm a Sag.
A
Sagittarius.
There you go. So what date is that? Exactly?
So December, early December.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you have to read it in a very sensual voice as well.
Okay. So Sagittarius, September. Wait. Daily horoscope.
And you gotta talk to it like you want to fuck the microphone.
Okay, that sounds good.
Hey everyone. Get a little bit closer.
Let's see what.
Yeah, I reckon this is going to be the running thing, because I did it, like Luke and I did it like the first time.
Yeah.
Everyone was just like, that was fucking hilarious, so we'll get that going.
Let's see, daily horoscope, Sagittarius, here we go. Okay, I'm trying to look for one that I don't have to pay for. Internet. Okay, well...
here we go.
We're the 6th, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this must be an American site, so... Alright, cool. Here we go. So
Real
this is from horoscope.com. September 6, 2019. You may feel lonely and isolated, like there's no one you can talk to, Sagittarius. Your interactions may seem like giving a speech instead of having a discussion. Perhaps you feel like you're talking to yourself most of the time and no one's really listening. There's nothing wrong with you or the person you're talking to. Just a phrase. Don't get hung up on it. Struggling to move on? Get instant answers with a tarot reading. More horoscopes for Sagittarius. Okay, no, that's finished. All right.
That was awesome.
What's that? Today's matches: love, friendship, and career. Libra, Aries, and Cancer. Are you any of those?
I'm a Gemini, actually.
All right, bro. So that's Apparently we don't match today.
Nah.
So.
Excellent. All right. Well, that is another episode of Muscle Nerds podcast, if you can call it that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Tommy, for coming on. I appreciate the time.
Man.
And that was awesome.
It was good.
I really hope